Lonnie Jordan.
All right, gentlemen, the captains for the Gaffney Indians are Bradshaw Littlejohn, Billy Smith, Brandon Peeler, and Jeff Littlejohn. Let's listen to referee Don Loftus as he introduces the captains.
Shake hands, fellas. All right, Captain, we're going to call y'all the white team. We're going to call y'all the black team. Is that all right with everybody? Now, y'all the team's captains. We're going to expect you to keep your teams under control at all times. If we have any problems, we'll call upon you to help us straighten it out. If we have a penalty, I'll call for a captain. It won't matter which one of you comes, but make sure you understand all your options, because once you make your decision, that will be final. Is that clear with everybody? Nobody heard me. Captains, y'all won the toss and elected to receive. Be on this side. Kings Mountain will be kicking off.
All right, so Gaffney has won the toss and elected to receive. So when we come back, the Indians will go on offense. You're listening to Gaffney Indian football.
Awarded Best Play-by-Play in South Carolina by the Associated Press. This is WAGI 105.3 FM, Gaffney, Spartanburg, Greenville.
Back at Mountaineer Stadium in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, Dennis Fowler along with Fabian Fuentes and Lonnie Jordan. The opening kickoff coming up next. It is brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks and Highway 221 in Chesney, where you'll find all the latest expeditions in stock. Now let's go over to the voice of the Indians. Here again is Fabian Fuentes with tonight's kickoff.
Well, thanks so much, Dennis. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome into another Friday night of Gaffney High School football over the airwaves of the Upstate Power Station as Kings Mountain kickoff will travel left to right across your radio dial. Evan Osteen with a football teed up for the Mountaineers. Jamar Montgomery and Brian Martin, the deep return men for the Indians. Gaffney clad in the road white uniforms with the black numerals and black helmets. And the game is underway. High side winding end over end kick fielded by Martin at the 2-yard line. Fumbles the football, regains possession at the 6. Brian trying to run right side and hammered near the 8-yard line. So a gain of only 4 or 5 yards or so on the opening kickoff return.
And the tackle made there by Stanley Whitesides of the Mountaineers.
So 1st and 10 for this Gaffney offense, which last week, despite scoring 67 points, had just 313 yards. But the reason the yardage number kind of low there, so to speak, for 67 points being scored. Touchdown drives of 19, 26, 47, 7, 39, and 31 yards. All that thanks to turnovers. Brandon Byers is the fullback. Brian Martin is the deep back. Bradshaw Littlejohn up under center, 3 wide slot left. Bradshaw the snap, play action, looks to throw from the goal line. Bradshaw under pressure, breaks one tackle in the backfield. Bradshaw out across the line of scrimmage, angling right sideline to the 15, across the 20, and hammered up near the 25-yard line. Bradshaw Littlejohn picks up nearly 14 yards on Gaffney's opening play from scrimmage.
Well, Matt Ash actually trying to bring Bradshaw down. He bumped him a little bit, and then it was Katie Bar the door for a little while, about 10 yards, and then Jamar Moore and Kelly Littlejohn collided with Bradshaw in the middle.
Now that's athleticism right there displayed by Bradshaw. Gets the Gaffney offense breathing room out to the 25-yard line. Gaffney working right to left here, opening quarter of the game. 3 down linemen for that Kings Mountain defensive front. Same set for the Tribe. Bradshaw, short drop, screen pass, left side, caught by Tron Thompson. Short gain out to about the 28-yard line before 12 is brought to the turf. Pickup of about 2 yards.
Yeah, that's where he's met by Torrey Curitan. Curitan, kind of impressive, Fabian, 5'10", 145 pounds, but he has some speed to it.
And he had 2 interceptions in a 34-14 win last week here against East Gaston. This Kings Mountain defense last week allowed only 42 yards on the ground, but better than 200 via the airwaves. Second down and call it 7. That's showing on the scoreboard here at Gamble Stadium. Gaffney working from its 27, opening possession of the game. Ball left hash mark. Bradshaw from the shotgun, 2 wides each side. Bradshaw looking to throw, swing pass left side. Brian Martin reaches out in front. 20 makes the catch, racing left side and across the 35 and out of bounds to the 36-yard line. That's good enough for a Gaffney first down, the second of the opening drive.
Well, Gaffney able to move this football, Fabian, and of course, I think you're going to see that going just a little bit tougher tonight than we did last week with Hunter Huss and that massive 67-0 rout at the reservation.
Oh, sure. Coach Montgomery very honest about it, considering that almost an extended scrimmage. First and 10, Gaffney. Indians working from their 36-yard line, left hash mark. 4 wides and trips to the right side. Bradshaw again from the shotgun. 7 gets the snap. Has some time to throw. Bradshaw looking. Pocket starts to collapse. He's a pass deep down the right sideline. Ball hangs into the air. Jump ball situation and incomplete. Tron Thompson, the intended receiver, down the right sideline at the Kings Mountain 25-yard line.
Torrey Curitin was right on his back. He did not interfere, but Curitin was right there and ready to stop the play had he caught the ball.
Well, Tron Thompson with a size advantage. Tron at 6 foot and Curitin at 5'10". The Gaffney wide receivers will have a size advantage over the Kings Mountain defensive backs. So second down and 10 for Gaffney. This is the opening possession of the game. Ball spotted at the Gaffney 36-yard line. Stoppage of play on the field, and the equipment problem, I think, for the right corner, Jamar Moore, the 5'8 senior. Kings Mountain dressed in the home black uniforms with the white numerals trimmed in the yellow and the black helmets. Both teams coming off opening victories a week ago tonight. Mentioned earlier, this is the first meeting on the gridiron between the schools since 1925. Indians winning that night 18-10. Keon Gardner into the game at the fullback spot for Gaffney as we go the slot to the right on second and 10. Bradshaw, quick pass, right side, caught by Thompson. Has a blocker ahead, Brandon Peeler, and Thompson tackled up near the 42-yard line. Gain of about 6 yards. Third down and 4 coming up for the Tribe.
Antonio McLean right on him, tripped him up. In fact, just knocked his feet right out from under him.
Well, Brandon setting the block up the field that time, but good coverage by the secondary of Kings Mountain. Brandon last week had a pair of receptions, going for touchdowns of 15 and 20 yards. Bradshaw last week, 3 touchdown passes and rushed for another. Ball possession down for the Tribe, first of the opening series. 3rd and 4, Gaffney from about its 42-yard line. Ball spotted right hash mark. 3 down linemen for that Kings Mountain front. Bradshaw gets the snap. Tries to fake the handoff. Bradshaw up the middle on a busted play. Gets hit up at the 44-yard line, short of the first down. And the Indians will have to punt the football on a 4th and 3.
Good eyes there from Jeremy Harris. The Mountaineers.
Punt team has yet to come onto the field for the Tribe and now will. So a couple of first downs opening series for Gaffney, but the Indians will have to punt the football from their 42-yard line. Rob Heim coming on the punt. Rob, a couple of efforts last week. One of those, the punt coverage team able to down the ball at about the 1-yard line. Twin safeties back deep to field the punt. Jamar Moore. There's a snap to Heim. 22 gets an end-over-end kick away. Moore lets this bounce to the Kings Mountain 25. High hop into the air, and Gaffney downs the football at about the Mountaineer 26-yard line. So that is where Kings Mountain will take its first snap from center. Some of the Gaffney punt coverage players saying that the ball had deflected off a Kings Mountain player, but Gaffney does not win the argument. So the Mountaineers 1st and 10 from their 26-yard line. Jeff Littlejohn coming onto the field to line up at that tackle spot for the Tribe. 2 slot backs, wides to each side. Hillman the lone back, left slot back, motion left. There's a snap, handing it off to Williamson, the right halfback, trying to turn the left corner. Does so, right across the 26 and up to about the 30-yard line. Give him a gain of nearly 9 yards on the opening carry.
Stopped by Gaffney's Roger Logan and Roy Dawkins.
Joe Williamson, 6'2", 180 pounds. Anthony Hillman is the fullback. Talked about him throughout the week on the Sportscast. Hillman, number 45, 5'10", 200-pound senior. Had nearly 170 yards last week. A pair of touchdowns, rushed for better than 2,500 yards last year. 2nd down and 1, same formation, same motion. As the quarterback throws right side, miscommunication here as he threw to the right sideline and nobody was home. Intended receiver Danny Wright, who had cut off the pattern 15 yards prior to where the football had come down. So 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Mountaineers. The Gaffney defense a week ago registering 16 tackles for loss, caused 4 fumbles. Anthony Littlejohn, Jeff Littlejohn, the interior part of that Gaffney defensive front, combining for 5 tackles for loss. 3rd on the yard for the Mountaineers from about their 30. There's a snap. They give it off to the fullback Hillman. Straight up the gut. He's got the first down. Tackled up near the 33-yard line. So Hillman picks up 3 when the Mountaineers needed a pair of yards. So 1st down and 10 for the Mountaineers.
Tackle made by Gaffney's Anthony Littlejohn.
Yeah, Anthony in the starting lineup tonight had Jeff Littlejohn fall on his foot during Wednesday's practice. Yeah, Jeff Littlejohn, 6'2" and 285 pounds, but Anthony is in there. 4-3 scheme for the Tribe. Trips to the right side. Ash tries to hand it off to Hillman, and he's tackled in the backfield. Back near the 30-yard line, I think it was 72 Littlejohn, Dennis, that may have got in there and wrapped Hillman up right after he got the handoff.
Yeah, Jeff was there, and a very good eye for him.
So the Gaffney defense snuffs that one out. 72 is inspired as he barks out the defensive call to that unit right now. Gaffney's defense fanning out at the line of scrimmage. Tron Dawkins, the defensive back to the left, and Roger Logan over on the right. Double slot back formation. Ash the snap, fakes to the fullback, run the option behind the right side, and we tackle him back at the 30-yard line. No gain on the play. So 3rd down and long coming up here for the Mountaineers. Gaffney opening possession, a couple of first downs, but then the drive stalled out up at our 44-yard line. This is Kings Mountain's opening series of the game, so we are scoreless with just under 7 minutes remaining in the opening quarter of play. Torres Leach wide out to the right side. 2 wides to the right side with Williamson. Ash gets a snap, straight drop, looking to throw under pressure. Deflected in the backfield and nearly intercepted. Anthony Littlejohn nearly came away with the interception. His big 56 got into the backfield that time and nearly picked off the pass from 7. So the Gaffney defense yielded 1 first down on Kings Mountain's opening drive. But now the Mountaineers will have to punt the football. Brandon Peeler is the single safety for the Tribe. Joe Williamson in punt formation for Kings Mountain. Brandon returned one of 67 yards for a TD last week. Here comes the rush, and we partially blocked the punt. It's out across the 40, gets a Kings Mountain bounce to the 50, still trickling into Gaffney territory, and is down by Danny Wright at the Gaffney 45-yard line. So Gaffney able to partially block the punt, but Kings Mountain the benefit of a nice roll. And Gaffney starts at 2nd position, nose of the football just shy of the Indians' 45-yard line. So the Gaffney offense in a scoreless football game takes over. Gaffney straight from the sideline to the line of scrimmage. 3 wide, slot right. Brandon Dover, the fullback, offset to the left side. Brian Martin is the deep back. Bradshaw up under center, gets the snap. Here's the toss sweep. Left side to Brian, a blocker ahead. Nice block by Keon Gardner, and Brian tackled at the Kings Mountain 49-yard line. Pick up about 6 yards on the play. Nice block out in front of the play by Keon on the lead play.
Yeah, it was, and Kelly Littlejohn in there for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I thought that was Brandon Dover at the fullback spot. Or Brandon Byers checked that, but it was Keon Gardner that time. Jackie Leach breaking the huddle, lining up as a wide out to the right side for the Tribe. Thompson and Peeler to the short side, which is the left side. 2nd down and 4 for Gaffney at the Mountaineer 49-yard line. Gardner and Martin in the eye. Brian with 113 yards last week, all in the first half. Bradshaw, shorts 2-step drop, fires a pass deep down the right sideline, going for Jackie Leach. He dives and incomplete. 6 nearly came up with a pass reception inside the 20-yard line, but Jackie could not hold on. Ball possession down for the Tribe, 3rd and 4.
A lot of pressure there by Kelly Littlejohn as he was really running toe-to-toe with him.
Well, no surprise here seeing this Gaffney offense trying to stretch this Kings Mountain defense out a little bit. Kings Mountain last week allowing better than 200 yards to the air. 3 down linemen for the Mountaineers. 3rd down and 4, Gaffney. From the Mountaineer 49-yard line. Bradshaw, the snap from the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. We pick it up. Guns a pass over the middle. This is caught in a tackle made immediately, but Gaffney's got the first down. Keon Gardner tackled near the Kings Mountain 38-yard line. We needed 4 in the play. Picked up 11. 1st down and 10, Gaffney, and the Indians are on the move. 2nd possession of the game. 5:41 remaining in what is a scoreless opening quarter of play.
Yeah, once again, Kelly Littlejohn made the tackle for the Mountaineers.
Bradshaw last week was 4 out of 10 through the airways for 36 yards, but 3 of those 4 completions going for touchdowns. 18, 8, and 15 yards. First down and 10, Gaffney at the Mountaineers' 39-yard line. Single setback, 4 wides, 2 to each side. Bradshaw, short drop again. Fires a pass deep down the right sideline. Going for Thompson, dives, and not able to hang on the ball inside the 10-yard line. Boy, Bradshaw that time just flung the ball deep down the right sideline. Initially, I thought that pass was well overthrown, but Thompson showing great speed that time, and 12 nearly came up with the football. And you got to wonder, Gaffney obviously spotting something on the game film last week between the Mountaineers and East Gaston, because that's at least the 3rd time we've gone with that particular pass pattern to the same side of the field here in the opening quarter. So second down and 10, Gaffney. Line of scrimmage, the Mountaineer 39-yard line. 2 wides to each side. 4 down linemen now for the Kings Mountain defense in a 3-point stance. Bradshaw barking out to play the line of scrimmage. Gets the snap. Fakes to the fullback. Bradshaw running the option behind the right side. Turns the corner to the 35. Zigzag move to the 30. Right sideline to the 25. Hayes to the 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Gaffney. Bradshaw Littlejohn, a 39-yard touchdown run for Gaffney on second down and 10. And the Indians have drawn first blood in this state line battle. 55 yards go the Indians, and Gaffney leads this football game 6-0. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Becker Boulevard in Gaffney. Sagebrush, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. Down to the sideline and a call the PAT. Here's Clonnie Jordan.
All right, gentlemen, Rob Heim to kick out of the hold of Keon Gardner. Trent Richburg snaps on extra points. Rob last week was 4 of 6 on extra point attempts, had 1 block. Here's the snap, it's down, the kick is up, and they call it good. So 5:03 left in the initial quarter. It's Gaffney 7, Kings Mountain nothing. This is Gaffney Indian football.
On in and try McDonald's 2 all-new hamburgers. One's a large, approximately 1/3 pound hamburger with lettuce and tomato. The McDonald's Big Extra. Another new sandwich is the 1/3 pound. Oh.
Somebody say McDonald's.
Back at John Gamble Stadium, it is 7-0 Gaffney. This Indians kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks. 221 Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Explorers. Rob Heim with a football teed up at the Gaffney 40-yard line. Jamar Moore and Joe Williamson, the return men for Kings Mountain. His kick will travel right to left across your radio dial. Heim with a line drive, sidewinding kick that's into the end zone for a touchback. Landed inside the 5-yard line and scooted across the goal line for the automatic touchback. So Kings Mountain starts its second possession on its own 20-yard line.
Well, one of the nice things about tonight, Fabian, there is a bit of a breeze blowing in the stadium. We were talking to some of the guys in the press box. Jonas Bridges from our friend at WKMT in Kings Mountain, also broadcasting this game tonight before this game started. And he said last week it was 100 degrees plus in the box.
Wow.
Had to be tough.
First and 10 Mountaineers. Ash the snap. Fakes to the fullback, running the option behind the right side, turns the corner, tries to step out of a tackle, up to the 26-yard line and driven out of bounds right sideline. Don't see his knee was down at the 26. So a pickup of about 6 yards. Second down and 4 coming up here for the Mountaineers. Ash last week, 94 yards, did have 1 rushing score. Do not look for the Mountaineers to go to the airways a whole lot. Ash a week ago only had 42 yards through the airways, but did have 1 touchdown. Second down and 4 for the Mountaineers. Working from their 26-yard line, ball spotted right hash mark. Gaffney defensive line of Wood, Jeff and Anthony Littlejohn, and Billy Smith. And now some miscommunication here as Kings Mountain stays in a huddle and an official's timeout. As I'm not exactly sure what we've got, an equipment problem, I think, for Joe Williamson, one of the slot backs. And he's got that taken care of, so play clock put back in motion. A rarity here for Gaffney. South Carolina does not use it, but North Carolina schools do use the 25-second play clocks on the field. Up to the line of scrimmage, Ash gets the snap. Play action, looks to throw, play blown dead. Penalty markers all over the turf. And we did have movement on the right side of that Kings Mountain offensive line. So the Mountaineers here to be penalized 5 yards. Illegal procedure against the guys clad in black. Our referee tonight is Don Loftus.
Dead ball, illegal procedure on the offense, 5 yards.
Got
Still
the
second down.
Vocal cords working tonight for Loftus. So second down and 9. coming up here for the Mountaineers. Ball pulled back to the Kings Mountain 21-yard line, right hash mark. Left slot back, Antonio McLean. Robertson to the right. He's in motion to the left. Ash hands it off. Left side to McLean. Straight up the gut across the 25 to the 30. Cuts it to the right side onto the 40 to 45. And tackle from behind at the ankles up near the 47-yard line on the Kings Mountain sideline. A touchdown saving tackle made, but not before the play picks up nearly 27 yards.
Give Roy Dawkins a lot of credit because he hung in there, continue that pursuit, and I mean, he bounced on him like he was bouncing on a rubber ball.
That's the thing about this misdirection offense, so to speak. It's assignment football for the defense, and his misdirection kind of takes away the aggressiveness of the team.
Shine.
10 Mountaineers from their 48-yard line. Ash under center, short drop, quick pass left on the slant. This is caught by Torres Leach and tackled to the Gaffney 44-yard line. As the play picks up nearly 9 yards. Second down and short coming up here for the Mountaineers.
Justin Ness in on the tackle for the Indians.
Yeah, pass play like you see from the San Francisco 49ers offense. Quick slant that time. Al mentioned Ash last week had just over 40 yards through the airwaves. He's a 6'1", 172-pound junior. Meanwhile, the Gaffney secondary last week coming away with 6 interceptions. Second down and short for the Mountaineers. The Gaffney 44. Ash up under center, double slot back. Play action, looks to throw. Fires deep right sideline, overthrown and incomplete. Danny Wright had a step on the defensive back, but it all goes for naught. So on second down and short that time, Kings Mountain trying to hit the home run ball against the Gaffney defense. Now the Mountaineers faced with a 3rd and 2 with 2:51 remaining in the opening quarter. It is Gaffney 7 and the Mountaineers nothing. Bradshaw Littlejohn, the senior quarterback for the Tribe, going in from 39 yards out on a fantastic run. Back up the 55-yard scoring drive. So 3rd down and 2 for the Mountaineers. Can the Gaffney defense come up big here? Ash trying to get comfortable under his center. Robbie Spikes, the senior. 7. Gets the snap. Here's the toss sweep. Left side. Williamson trying to turn the corner. Has the first down. Left sideline and out of bounds to the Gaffney 33-yard line. As the play picks up nearly 11 yards when the Mountaineers needed 2.
Pushed out by Roger McIntosh, but not before the first down.
So the Mountaineer offense has found something to work with here. Kings Mountain starting this drive from its 20-yard line. And the football down near the Gaffney 33-yard line, left hash mark. Mountaineers working left to right here at John Gamble Stadium. An overflow crowd is on hand on this Friday, the 3rd of September. Torres Leach, the wide out to the left side. Single wide out to the right. Same formation as Ash gets the snap. Play action, looks to throw. 7 under pressure back across the 40. Now going to run the football. Back to the 35, to the 30. Right sideline, puts his head down and driven down near the Gaffney 25-yard line. So give Ash credit there as he picks up 8 yards after nearly being sacked.
And Terrace Dukes, the Indian who almost did the sack.
Well, that takes a lot out of a defense when you've got to chase the quarterback around. As the game progresses, that happens on a few more occasions. That really takes a toll on the defensive unit. Defensive captain Jeff Littlejohn barking out the call to our unit right now. And 72 with hands on hips as he settles into that tackle position. Second down and 1 for the Mountaineers at the Gaffney 25. Ash, short drop, pass left sideline, overthrown and incomplete. Trying to go deep down the left sideline. Antonio McLean, but nobody was home. Kind of getting into similar patterns here. Kings Mountain, a couple of times on this drive, the Mountaineers have gotten big yardage on the first play. Then in short yardage, come back and trying to hit the home run ball. Now it is 3rd down and 2 for Kings Mountain. Line of scrimmage just inside the Gaffney 25. Ball spotted right hash mark. 4 down linemen on the Gaffney front. Ash gets the snap, hands it off to the right halfback. Williamson trying to turn the corner left side. He's got the first down and tackled to the Gaffney 20-yard line as 44 picks up 5 yards. First down and 10 for Kings Mountain.
Roger Logan made the tackle, but as you say, not before the first down.
Been a ball possession series here, so to speak, for Kings Mountain. Mountaineers have chewed up nearly 3 minutes of the clock as we're down to 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Game clock in motion. Gaffney leading 7-0. But Kings Mountain looking to answer here. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Ash gets the snap. 7 hands it off to the fullback. Hillman picks his way through the line of scrimmage to the 15, to the 10, and tackled from behind at the Gaffney 6-yard line. Pick up a 14 yards, and it's 1st and goal for Kings Mountain.
Roger Logan again making the tackle for the Indians.
Well, you keep handing it off to the slot backs or the wing backs, if you will, in this scheme, and then you hand it off to your fullback and takes it straight up the gut. So first and goal for Kings Mountain. Ball at the Gaffney 6-yard line, right between the hash marks. Send two wideouts to the right side of the formation. And Danny Wright and Torres Leach. Williamson and Kenny Moore, the backs to each side. Hillman lined up behind Ash. Here's the pitch back. Hillman trying to turn the corners to the 5, right sideline. Barrels his way. Is he into the end zone? Yes, touchdown, Kings Mountain. There was a delayed call by the official, but he said that Hillman's progress had taken him across the goal line as he tied the tightrope the right or near sideline. So the Mountaineers answer the Gaffney scoring drive. Kings Mountain goes 80 yards, and it's Hillman from 6 yards out as fireworks are launched off into the distance. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Becker Boulevard in Gaffney. Down to the sideline, Clowney with the PAT. And the PAT is up and good. We are tied at 7. 71 seconds remaining in the opening half. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Magic, making money. Earn money.
Well, back at John Gamble Stadium in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, and the Mountaineers have answered. Kings Mountain drives 80 yards, takes up nearly 4 minutes off the game clock. And the Mountaineers have tied the game up. Anthony Hillman going in from 6 yards out on the first and goal. Evan Osteen adding the point after. Kings Mountain kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks. Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Crown Victorias. Osteen teeing the football up at the Kings Mountain 40-yard line, right hash mark. Keon Gardner and now Brian Martin back deep to return the kickoff. Osteen, 85 approaches and gets a high side winding end over end kick away. Gardner makes a catch inside our 5, right between the left hash mark, across the 20, the 25, good blocking across the 30, 3 across the 40, and tackled from behind up near the Gaffney 47-yard line. It's a return of better than 44 yards for Keon Gardner.
Yeah, good move by Keon there, Fabian, and finally tackled by Danny Wright. And he also had some help in there from Charles Perry.
Keon last week returned the opening kickoff, 66 yards. So first down and 10 for Gaffney, working from its 47-yard line, the left hash mark. 1:04 remaining in the opening quarter. 3 down linemen. Bradshaw the snap. Hands off on the draw to Brian Martin. Straight up the gut to the 50. Cuts left to the 45 to the Mountaineer 40 and hammered from behind at the 38-yard line. But it's a first down for Gaffney as the play covers nearly 16 yards. Brian Martin on the carry.
Yeah, double team by Jamar Moore.
Well, good job by that Gaffney offensive line of Huffstetler, Gilbert, Beatty, Robertson, and Jay Love.
And Chris Hogue also in on that tackle too, Fabian.
Well, first down and 10 for the Tribe. Football down at the Mountaineer 37-yard line. Possibly could be the final play of the opening 12. I set Bradshaw the snap, turns and gives again to Brian Martin, trying to run right, tries to pick his way through the line, but tackled at the 35-yard line. Pickup of 2 yards before 20 is brought down to the turf.
Brought down he was Gerald Smith.
Well, second down and 8 for the Tribe. Mentioned last week, Brian, a 5'7", 180-pound junior. Only played the opening half, had 113 yards on just 9 attempts. Did have 1 touchdown. That coming on a 7-yard run. Gaffney coming up to the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure whether or not we do not have to take this snap. We can just go into the second quarter, but the Tribe up to the line of scrimmage. Play clock at 12, first quarter clock at 5. Bradshaw from the shotgun. 3 down linemen for Kings Mountain, and Bradshaw gets the snap on second and long. Bradshaw on the quarterback draw and tripped up near the 30-yard line. Pickup of about 5 yards. So ball possession down coming up for Gaffney. That is the opening quarter of play. Your final score, Gaffney 7 and Kings Mountain 7. This is Gaffney Indian football.
The Carolina Vision Associates and the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney is your complete eyeglass headquarters. They can tint your glasses, make glasses from an old pair. They carry in-stock contact lenses, and you can always bring in your doctor's prescription or make an appointment to see a doctor in their store by calling 489-2016. So for fast service at reasonable prices on optical services for the entire family, visit Carolina Vision Associates. In the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney, your complete optical headquarters, that's Carolina Vision Associates of Gaffney.
Well, back at John Gamble Stadium in Kings Mountain. About to start the second quarter of play. Gaffney with possession, but a ball possession down for the Tribe. As the teams switched ends of the field that time, one of the starting ends for that Kings Mountain defense, Gerald Smith, number 61, came off to the near sideline, the 5'11", 256-pound junior.
I want to remind you that Gaffney High School Indian football is a presentation of Gaffney Broadcasting Sports through authority granted by Gaffney High School and is intended for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or the use of the descriptions of this game without the express written consent of Gaffney Broadcasting Incorporated is prohibited.
Teams at the line of scrimmage and ready to go. 3rd down and 3, Gaffney from the Mountaineers 30. Bradshaw, our quarterback, from the shotgun, 4 wides and trips to the wide side, right side of the formation. Bradshaw gets the snap, trying to run to the left side, following the blocking, but tackled short of the first down. Bradshaw a gain of 1 to the 29-yard line. Tried to follow the lead, blocking that time of Keon Gardner around the left side of the line, but that all went for naught. So 4th down here for the Tribe.
Stop made there by Kings Mountain's Lee Rhodes.
And the Indians here going to go for it with the line of scrimmage. Just inside the Kings Mountain 30-yard line, left hash. Jackie Leach a wide out to the left side. Tron Thompson and Brandon Peeler to the right side. We break the huddle with Gardner and Brian Martin behind Bradshaw Littlejohn. Set to get up under center, Brad Beatty. Crowd to its feet on 4th and 3 for Gaffney. Inside the Mountaineer 30-yard line. Bradshaw barks out the play called the line of scrimmage now under center. Here's a snap, sweep. Right side, Brian Martin trying to turn the corner. Has blockers ahead. Brian trying to get to the 25, does so. Right sideline and out of bounds as he gets the first down at the 22-yard line. Brian Martin picks up nearly 8 yards. Good blocking out on the front tie. That time by Keon Gardner out of the fullback position.
Absolutely, and pushed out by Kelly Littlejohn of the Mountaineers.
So the drive stays alive for the Tribe. Gaffney opening the campaign a week ago tonight with a 67-0 win against Hunter Huss. Kings Mountain opening with a 34-14 win here at Gamble Stadium against East Gaston. So 1st down and 10. Ball spotted at the Mountaineer 22-yard line, right hash mark. 2 wides, the short side of the field, and Thompson and Peeler. Now Brian Martin lines up in a slot to the left. Gardner, the lone back. Bradshaw, the snap, hands it off to Keon. Exploits a hole right side. He's to the 15 to the 10. He pinballs off a black jersey to the 5. And Keon tackled near the Mountaineer 2-yard line. Keon Gardner picks up nearly 22 yards.
Well, he was tackled initially there, Fabian, by Torrey Curitan. He got loose from Curitan, and Stanley Whitesides finally brought him to the turf. Certainly a goal-saving move by him.
Well, Keon, a good block on the toss sweep the previous play, and barrels his way down to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for the Tribe. Trying to get in the end zone down to our right, 3 wides in a slot right. Gardner and Martin in the eyes. Play clock down to 6. Bradshaw gets the snap, pitch left to Martin, trying to run wide left, cuts it back in, spin move, goal line, touchdown, Gaffney. Well, the Indians answer the Mountaineers scoring drive. Gaffney goes 53 yards, and it's Brian Martin going in from 2 yards out, trying to run wide left, but cut back against the grain and is in for the touchdown. And it's 13-7 Gaffney. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Becker Boulevard in Gaffney. Sagebrush, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. To the sideline and a call to PAT. Here's Kalani.
All right, Rob Heim successful in his only other previous extra point attempt. Out of the hold of Keon Gardner. The snap is down, the kick is up, a little wobbly, and it's good. So with 10:32 left in the second period, it's now Gaffney 14, Kings Mountain 7. You're listening to Gaffney Indian football.
You've waited for it, and now it's back. The half-price frame sale at the Frame Depot in the Bilo Shopping Center, Gaffney. All next week in honor of Labor Day, get 1 half price off frames at the Frame Depot. The Frame Depot is Cherokee County's exclusive dealer for limited edition Civil War prints by nationally known artists Mort Kunstler and Don Troiani, along with many others including Stephen Hambry, Donnie Finley, Glenda Turley, and Lena Lou. And don't forget exclusive art by Terry Redland. The Frame Depot, 1107 West Floyd Baker Boulevard in the Bilo Shopping Center, Gaffney, where the 1 half price frame sale is all next week.
Awarded Best Play-by-Play in South Carolina by the Associated Press. This is WAGI 105.3 FM. Gaffney, Spartanburg, Greenville.
Well, back at John Gamble Stadium, the Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. Rob Heim. End over end kick taken by Williamson at the 6, racing into the middle of the field across the 10 to the 15 to the 20, out across the 24 and tackled up near the 25-yard line. Joe Williamson, 6'2", 180-pound senior. Well, this thing has turned in as we thought it would be, a knockdown, drag-out war here in the Tar Heel State.
Well, it's always fun when you come across that state line. You know, the 2 years that we came across and played Shelby, and then also over in Crest. Now, that Crest game was incredible with the amount of people that were out there, Fabian. Never will forget that night.
Yeah, put them out of their misery early, though. First and 10, Gaffney, check that, first and 10, Kings Mountain from its 25. Ash, the whirlybird, looking to throw, airs it out deep left seam, and nearly intercepted, incomplete. The intended receiver, Torres Leach, but our DB nearly came away with a pick.
Almost intercepted by Gaffney's Roger Logan.
Yeah, Roger that time had good inside position that time on Leach. Kind of the old whirlybird, as I call it there, from Ash, the quarterback, 7. Kind of faked 2 different handoffs, spun around a little pirouette, if you will, then launched the pigskin down the field. Second and 10 Mountaineers from their 25-yard line. Ash hands off on the delay to Hillman. Over the right side to the 30. Breaks a tackle up to the 35-yard line and tackled up near the 37. A pickup of 12, and the chains will move for the Mountaineers. That's the bread and butter play out of this misdirection offense, if you will. Everything feeds off the fullback, and we have seen Hillman on the few carries that he has gotten here in the opening half with a great deal of success. Now the center in the Mountaineer attack, Robbie Spikes, limps his way up to the line of scrimmage, but is now over the football. First and 10, Kings Mountain from its 37-yard line. Hillman, the back in motion to the right. Now here's a whirlybird, and it's a broken play behind the line of scrimmage, but Ash, the quarterback, turns us into positive yardage across the left side. Tackled inside Gaffney territory, just shy of the Indians' 49-yard line, as that play picks up nearly 14 yards.
And the tackle made there by Logan.
Yeah, there was definitely miscommunication at time because Ash races back to the Kings Mountain sideline to talk with head coach Ron Massey. But a good athletic move there. 2 great athletic quarterbacks here in this one tonight. For Gaffney, Bradshaw, Littlejohn, we saw it on a 39-yard touchdown run, the game's first score, and just shown here by Kings Mountain quarterback Ash. First and 10. There's the snap. They fake to the fullback. Ash trying to run the option behind the right side and tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the Mountaineer 49-yard line. A loss of about 1. Good job of stringing things out that time by the Gaffney defensive line.
Yeah, good move there by Justin Ness and help from Darrell Richburg.
Yeah, the defensive line kind of strung things out there, Dennis, and allowed the linebackers to pursue to the football. So second down and 11. On previous drive, the Mountaineers were getting big chunks of yardage on first down. Second down, going with deep pass plays that didn't work. But now it's second down 11 for Kings Mountain from its 49. 4 down lineman. Ash looks to hand the football off. Nobody home, but pitches wide right, turning the corner into Gaffney territory. The 45 and driven out of bounds at the Indian 41-yard line, a yard shy of the first down. Kenny Moore on the carry that time.
Tron Dawkins actually, Tron Dawkins actually pushed him out, stopped the play.
Well, the Gaffney defense had that one sniffed out there, but another athletic move that time by the quarterback, Matt Ash, as he was in trouble and just pitched the ball off to Kenny Moore, who came out of nowhere in 5, just sprinted down that right sideline. So third down in the yard for the Mountaineers inside the Gaffney 41-yard line. 8:40 remaining in the opening half of play. Gaffney leading this game 14-7. Right out to the right side, Danny Wright leads to the near side. Ash takes the snap and going on the quarterback sneak left side, breaks the tackle the line of scrimmage, and second effort gets him the first down as he's to the Gaffney 39-yard line. Second and third effort that time by 7 Ash, and the chains will move for the Mountaineers.
Roy Dawkins and Justin Ness in on the stop, but not before that first down.
Well, Kings Mountain started this drive from its 25-yard line. Reminder coming up at halftime tonight, we'll take a look at stats from the opening half of play. Stoppage of play on the field. Officials timeout. as Ash is over on the Kings Mountain sideline talking with the coaching staff. And rather nice of them to give an official's timeout to allow Ash more time to come back out, but now they're ready to go. It has been a relatively clean game, I think, from a penalty standpoint. Only one flag then on Kings Mountain's opening series. So teams in the line of scrimmage and ready to go. Ash this time tries to hand it off to Williamson, tackled behind the line of scrimmage. He ran into the big jersey of number 5'6" right there. Lost back to the 41. Second down and 12 coming up.
Yeah, when Anthony Littlejohn comes calling, you know it. He don't even have to leave his calling card.
That was kind of interesting that time because when Williamson, 44, got the handoff, kind of had the ball out there on that left hip. I'm not sure whether Ash left the football in there too long, was going to fake the handoff or what. But Gaffney will take the play. Loss of a pair. Second down and 12 for the Mountaineers. Line of scrimmage to the Gaffney 41-yard line. Kings Mountain working right to left here in the second quarter. Indians leading 14-7. 4 down linemen. Ash up under center. Left wing back in motion to the right. There's the pitch back to the wing back. Kenny Moore trying to turn the corner, being strung out. Horse collared and tackled at the Gaffney 35-yard line. Gain of about 6. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Dory Brown. Good job there by Dory.
We got a defensive lineman. That's Anthony Littlejohn, 56, absolutely furious. He was talking with the umpire. I think Anthony thought he got chop blocked, limping off to that far sideline. Now, keep in mind, I mentioned he was injured in Wednesday's practice, but big 56 making his way over to the bench, and he is ticked off about something as he slams that helmet into the turf. So 3rd down and 6 for the Mountaineers at the Gaffney 35. Ball right hash mark. Wides to each side, wings each side. Ash up under center. Gets a snap, short drop, trying to throw on the slant. Throws behind the receiver, incomplete. Some of the Kings Mountain fans wanting pass interference, I think, on Roger Logan, who had the pass coverage that time, working against Torres Leach. But 4th and 6 coming up here for the Mountaineers, and Kings Mountain, I believe, will take a timeout, and the Mountaineers will. 6:35 remaining in the first half of play. The Indians 14 and the Mountaineers 7. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Buford Street True Value Hardware, located at the corner of Buford and Grenard Streets, open and ready to serve you. They're a full-service hardware store with a whole lot of extras, housewares, gift items, toys, bikes, and more, and they offer a layaway plan. Free gift wrapping, too, so stop by and see the new, bigger, and better Buford Street True Value. Open 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturday.
Back at Gamble Stadium, this game summary brought to you by Fats Cafe. That's where you'll enjoy special lunch items from $4.99 to $5.99. Call them at 488-0310. 14-7 is our score. Gaffney with 6:35 remaining in the opening half. The Indians with touchdowns of 39 yards from Bradshaw Littlejohn and 2 yards from Brian Martin. The Kings Mountain score squeezed in there. Anthony Hillman from 6 yards out on 1st and goal. No problem for the point afters. Evan Osteen of Kings Mountain and Rob Heim of Gaffney. Teams to the line of scrimmage and ready to go out of the Kings Mountain timeout. 4th and 6 at the Gaffney 35. Ash gets the snap, hands it off to the fullback Hillman, trying to run left, and he's tackled shy of the first down marker at the 32-yard line. Way to go, defense. They picked up 3 when the Mountaineers needed 6. So the Gaffney defense on that drive bent but did not break.
Dory Brown leading the tribe on that stump.
Well, let's see if the Gaffney offense can come up with something here. Gaffney has scored on its last 2 possessions. Indian offense, as is customary, after change of possession, straight from that sideline to the line of scrimmage. Brandon Byers in the game at the running back spot now. Brian Martin late coming onto the field, now 20 sprints. 3 wides and a slot to the right. Bradshaw up under center, gets the snap, hands off on a draw to Brian Martin, trying to get out of backfield traffic, but will not be able to as he's tackled back near the 26 or 27-yard line.
Mountaineers read that one, especially Gerald Smith, who was right on him. And, you know, Gerald is 256 pounds and not much going after meeting him.
Well, ran that play a few times earlier here that worked against that Kings Mountain defense, but not here. They say the loss is of 4 yards, so 2nd and 14 for Gaffney from its 27-yard line. Halftime, Lonnie Jordan will talk with Coach Joe Montgomery about the events of the opening half of play. We'll also take a look at the halftime statistics brought to you by Patterson's Record Service. Second down and long for the Tribe. Bradshaw now turns around and calls for a timeout and gets it. We'll take the break as well. Gaffney the football, 14-7 Indians, 5:40 to go opening half. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Off I-85 at exit 95 in Gaffney.
Along with Dennis Fowler, Lonnie Jordan, Fabian Fuentes, John Gamble Stadium, Kings Mountain, North Carolina. 5:40 remaining in the opening half of play. The Indians lead the homestanding Mountaineers 14-7. Gaffney calling a timeout, so that leaves each team with 2 for the remainder of the opening half of play. Gaffney with the football, but the Indians an uphill battle here. Second down and 14 for the Tribe. Indians working from their 27-yard line. Teams up the line of scrimmage and ready to go. 4th down lineman for Kings Mountain on that defensive front. Bradshaw, the snap play action. 7 looks to throw. Has time. Airs a pass deep down the left sideline. Going for Thompson. Tries to make the catch and incomplete. Tron that time did have a step on the defensive back, but the Indians able to come up big on the pass play there. So a ball position down coming up here at 3rd and 14.
Yeah, Torrey Curitan was right there with him, Fabian, step by step. Good pressure by him.
Well, like we heard Coach Montgomery say for the last couple of weeks, this Gaffney passing attack, he likes to go deep 10 times per football game, trying to stretch out the defense, so to speak. That's one of the reasons why you will really never see that good of a pass completion percentage from Gaffney quarterbacks. 3rd down and 14. We've got to get the football out across the 42-yard line to keep this drive alive. Bradshaw from the shotgun, 2 wide each side. Looking to throw. We're setting up the middle screen. And this is caught on the juggle by Keon Gardner. And he shoots out of there like a bullet. First down across the 40 to the 50 into Kings Mountain territory. And tackled at the Mountaineer 39-yard line. Great concentration by 3 that time, as Keon momentarily bobbled the football, but then gained control and rambles for a first down to the Mountaineers' 39-yard line. The Indians convert on a 3rd and 14.
Got to give him a lot of credit there, Fabian. You're absolutely right, because he managed to keep his composure. He did bobble the football, and, you know, without turning his head and looking around where it was, he just pulled it right back into his chest and took off again.
Absolute jailbreak that time. On that middle screen, you let the defensive line over pursue come into the backfield, and then you go right at him with a short pass. 1st and 10 Gaffney at the Mountaineer 39. Bradshaw the snap, 7 looking to throw. Right-hander looking, has time. Now runs back to the left side. Bradshaw still on his feet in the middle of the field. Launches a pass, left side. This is caught. Brandon Byers to the 20, to the 15, and down to about the 13-yard line goes Brandon Byers. Bradshaw had all day to throw the football that time. Finally found Brandon Byers in the belly of that Kings Mountain defense.
Torrey Curitan right there, trying to break the play up. Curitan, a great defensive player for the Mountaineers.
Now the Indians leading 14-7 and looking to build. 4:44 remaining in the opening half. Game clock in motion. 1st down and 10 Gaffney. Line of scrimmage, the Mountaineer 12-yard line, left hash mark. Gardner, the lone back behind Bradshaw. 4 wides, 2 to the short side. Bradshaw, the snap, short drop, going with a fade pattern. Right side of the end zone for Peeler. He makes the catch. Touchdown, Gaffney. 13 made a nifty move to free himself away from the defensive back, and Brandon Peeler hauls in his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. And it is the 4th thrown by the senior quarterback, Bradshaw Littlejohn. And the Indians drive 69 yards and lead 20-7. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard, Gaffney, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. PAT time. Here's Kalani.
All right, Rob Heim, Keon Gardner to hold. Heim to kick. Heim's 2 for 2. The snap is down. The kick is up, and it is good. 4:24 to go before the half. It's now Gaffney 21, Kings Mountain 7. You're listening to Gaffney Indians football.
Perry's Tire Service would like to express their appreciation to all of their cherished customers for their loyalty to Perry's Tire over the years. We have been able to provide services such as brakes, shocks, struts, CV axles, front end alignments, plus many more services. Needless to say, we have fantastic prices on chrome wheels and sell a complete line of Cooper tires for passenger cars and trucks. Contact David, Deborah, or Alicia at Perry's Tire, located at 401 Grenard Street in Gaffney, phone at 489-7960.
Well, back at John Gamble Stadium, and Gaffney extends its lead now over the Mountaineers to 21-7 with 4:24 remaining in the opening half. Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks on Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Rangers and F-Series pickup trucks. Rob Hine with a football teed up right hash mark. Gaffney 40, 22 approaches and gets a high and deep end-over-end kick away. Jamar Moore makes the catch at about the 5. Racing into the middle of the field across the 10 to the 15 and tackled by 4 white jerseys up to the 24-yard line. And multiple penalty markers tossed in where the tackle was made. Perhaps a face mask coming up here.
Well, a little razzle-dazzle out there. Looks like some pushing and shoving going on. Not really sure where it started or who started, but the official ended it. We'll get an update on that in just a moment.
I think this one's against the maybe the Mountaineers. I think I saw our referee point against Black, but we'll wait for the call. Kick return out to about the 23-yard line, and this will, I think, go against Kings Mountain. Referee Don Loftus. And now Loftus going to talk with the defensive captain, which is Jeff Littlejohn, so this against the Mountaineers. Gaffney has not been penalized, I do not believe, here in the opening half of this football game, while this will be the Mountaineers' second penalty and first of the quarter. Clip and face mask, so what have we got? Multiple fouls on the play. Clip against Kings Mountain, and now a face mask against Gaffney. And I think the officiating crew may be stumped on this one. Let's see.
Face mask on the white team. We have clipping on the black team.
And when all is said and done, the Mountaineers are going to take a snap from their 24-yard line. Or are they? The officiating crew still discussing this one. Tonight's Gaffney game is the 887th in the history of our football program. Gaffney with 594 wins all time. Gaffney has won nearly 70% of its football games. And this is the 80th year of Gaffney football. And the referee's still talking things over. And Matt Ash, the Kings Mountain quarterback, taking the opportunity to come over to the near sideline and talk things over with Ron Massey. Scoring up, or a game summary brought to you by Fats Cafe. It's where you'll enjoy special lunch items from $4.99 to $5.99, and that's where Calabash Chicken is still number one. Gaffney has scored on its last 3 possessions. Bradshaw Littlejohn, a 39-yard touchdown run. Brian Martin from 2 yards out, and most recently Bradshaw, a 12-yard scoring strike to Brandon Peeler on first down. 21-7 Gaffney, 4:17 to go opening half, so the Mountaineers now start from the 24. They hand it off to the running back, Hillman. Nothing doing there as he tried to take it into the teeth of that defense. May have picked up a yard to the 25.
That's where he's stopped by Gaffney's number 53.
One of the things that we have to keep an eye on here now, and if you're Kings Mountain, a lot of concern right now. Granted, it's still early in this football game, but here's the problem. The Gaffney defense has scored on its offense has scored on its last 3 possessions. Kings Mountain is a ground-oriented football team. When you rush the football, that takes a ton of time off the clock. Ash gets the snap, pitch. Hillman trying to turn the corner, and he's not going to go anywhere there as the white jerseys swarm him about a half yard maybe behind the line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and long coming up here for the Mountaineers.
And Gaffney's Darryl Richburg comes off the bottom of that heap.
Well, 3rd down and a long 8 for Kings Mountain from its 25-yard line. Actually, they say Hillman gained a yard out of all that. So 3rd and 8 for the Mountaineers. 3:40 remaining in the opening half. Indians lead 21-7. Ash up under center. Gets the snap. Pitch back left side. It's loose at the 15-yard line. And a running back drops on top of the football, Joe Williamson. A loss of 10 yards or so on the play. So 3rd and 18, or 4th and 18 coming up here for Kings Mountain.
And that's where he's dropped by Roger Logan.
So a huge loss on the play for Kings Mountain. And barring a big-time punt here from Joe Williamson, who recovered them off that time, Gaffney's going to have this thing in good field position. Brandon Peeler is the single safety for Gaffney. Keep in mind he returned one for nearly 68 yards and a touchdown last week. Ball spotted left hash mark. Williamson will punt from the Mountaineer 15-yard line. He awaits the snap, and they're going to fake it. They throw over the middle, trying to go to Hillman. It's deflected and incomplete, but there is a penalty marker up at the 25, which is where we deflected the pass. And let's see if this is pass interference against the Tribe, or perhaps an ineligible lineman up the field. Our defensive coordinator, Mike Biddix, knew right off the bat what the flag was about, and it's a false start against Kings Mountain. So Kings Mountain there trying to go with big-time trickery, backed up in their own end of the field.
Illegal procedure on the black team. We got offensive pass, a defensive pass interference. The up back right here, the up back.
So out of all that, we'll try it again. So we're going to replay fourth down. Brandon dropping back into that single safety, wondering whether or not he's going to get a chance to return the football here. So we'll just forget that happened. Offsetting. Williamson. And now a penalty marker comes in. Somebody in the neutral zone.
Well, we can't forget that one, can we?
I had to go and mention that we had a relatively penalty-free opening half of play, and now I've had a few as of late. 5 yards against Gaffney, offsides. Now the Indians have partially blocked one punt tonight.
Still got fourth down.
Of course, Kings Mountain got a nice roll after the bounce, after that partially deflected kick. So here we go. Line of scrimmage, the Mountaineer 20-yard line. Williamson, 44, awaiting the snap. Here comes the rush, and the punt is away. Nearly got that one in this. A very short punt. Hits at the Mountaineer 28. Out across the 30, up to the 36-yard line where the football is down. Stanley Whitesides downs the football up near the 35-yard line at Kings Mountain. A 15-yard punt. Well, I got news for you. 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the opening quarter, or opening half. Check that. Reason I thought it was opening quarter, looked down at the watch, saw it was about 23 after 8. We normally kick off at 8. This one got underway at 7:30. So Gaffney, first and 10 at the Mountaineer 35. I set. Bradshaw the snap, two-step drop. Going with a fly pattern, left sideline, and this one is deflected and incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Jackie Leach, the intended receiver, streaking down that Gaffney sideline.
Battling with Jamar Moore. Moore got his hands on it but couldn't hang on.
Well, if you keep going to it, sooner or later you're going to hit pay dirt. We've seen Gaffney go with a fly pattern, so to speak, a ton here in the opening half of play. 21-7 with 2:38 to go first half. Jackie Leach, a wide out to the wide side, which is to the left. Two wides to the right side. Jamar Montgomery and Brandon Peeler. Bradshaw the snap, hands off to the fullback Keon Gerdner. 3-2, hands over the football across the 30 to the 25. And he bowls his way down to the 22-yard line. 13 yards for Keon Gerdner.
Finally stopped by Torrey Curitan.
Well, that was just a great fullback run that time, Dennis and Kalani. Keon got the handoff and just put two hands over the football, put that head down, and just shot his way through the line of scrimmage. First down and 10 for the Tribe. Ball spotted just inside the Mountaineer 22-yard line, right hash mark. 2:19 remaining in the opening half of play. Each team with a pair of timeouts remaining. Ball right hash mark. Jackie Leach, a wide out to the left. Two wides to the right. Keon Gerdner and Brian Martin in the eye. Keon offset to the left. Bradshaw barks out to play at the line of scrimmage. Now under his center, Beatty gets the snap. Quick handoff to the deep back, Brian Martin. Exploits the whole left side to the 15. He's to the 10. Cutting to the outside to the 5. He steps out of a tackle. It is a touchdown, Gaffney. Brian Martin from 22 yards out, and he made a number of black jerseys come up with nothing but air as they tried to come up and tackle number 20. Second touchdown of the night for Brian Martin, his third of the season, but now a marker on the turf. Back up to the 18. It is a touchdown. We get the signal from our referee.
Well, you know, he was weaving like he was weaving a rug out there, Fabian.
Or did he see? Hold on.
Touchdown's good. Unsportsmanlike. Enforced on the extra point.
Oh, Coach Montgomery will not like that, as Coach Montgomery comes out on the field right now and talks things over. And the Indians, I think, are going to go for the two-point conversion. No, Bradshaw coming out to the referee, wanting an explanation here. And Bradshaw going to hold for the PAT, which is now from 35 yards out. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard. Down to the sideline, here's Clowney. There's a snap to Bradshaw. Ball spotted down. The kick is up by Martin, and it is good. Rob Heim drills it in there. Clowney somewhere out there. We'll work on that. 28-7 with 1:57 to go in the opening half. This is Gaffney Indian football.
About their priority customer service agreement. Besides having your heating system checked in the fall and your air conditioning checked in
How long was the scoring play?
the customer with Childress Heating and Air Conditioning.
Bonnie, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm here, guys. What's the problem?
I don't know. I think you were muted or something.
No, I wouldn't. Well, maybe I was. I'll try harder, I promise.
All right.
28-7 is the Gaffney lead. Indians kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford, Highway 221 in Chesney, also home of Western Star Trucks. That's where you'll find the Ford Escorts. Rob Heim with a 35-yard PAT. We scrambled there at the last minute. I think I called him Brian Martin. I don't think Brian can kick. Rob approaches this one. High end over end kick drifting to the right sideline. Williamson allows this one to hit at the 10 and is out of bounds. So the penalty marker comes in. Gaffney has scored on its last 4 possessions. Brian Martin with a pair of touchdown runs. Unofficially, the most recent one of 20 yards, adding to one he had earlier of 2 yards. Bradshaw Littlejohn, a 39-yard run. That opened up the scoring. And then Bradshaw, a 12-yard scoring strike to Brandon Peeler.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team. Ball be on the 35. First down.
So 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers from their 35-yard line. Ball spotted just inside the left hash mark. 1:57 to go in the opening half. Tribe leading this thing 28-7. 35 yards, the Gaffney scoring drive. Ash, the snap, straight drop, throws over the middle, caught by Williamson in traffic, but tackled out across the 42-yard line. Gain of about 7 yards. 2nd down and 3 coming up.
And he's hit immediately by Indian Darrell Richburg. Darrell has had an outstanding game so far.
52 doing a good job at that left outside linebacker. Hurry up offense now for the Mountaineers. Ash gets the snap, running the option behind the right side, trying to pitch this time, does so on the corner to Hillman. Out across the 45 and up to the 49-yard line, stays in bounds. Gain of 6, 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers with 87 seconds remaining in the opening half. Once again, each team with a pair of timeouts remaining. Well, one improvement for the Indians this week, coming in the extra point department, as Rob Heim is 3 out of 3. Ash gets the snap, straight drop, looks to throw, fires left sideline, overthrown and incomplete. It was nearly intercepted, I believe, by Logan down at our 30-yard line.
Yeah, Logan was right there at it.
Well, I don't believe any turnovers here in the opening half of this football game. Gaffney coming in at +4 in the giveaway takeaway category through one game this year. And something we had talked about with Coach Montgomery this week, and a stat that he says often goes overlooked, but it's that giveaway takeaway category. Gaffney over the last 31 football games coming into this game tonight, +42 in that department. 2nd and 10 Mountaineers. Ash straight drop, looking to throw, fires right sideline, caught by Danny Wright into Gaffney territory, tackled after a gain of maybe 4 yards at the 47 of the Tribe. 78 seconds to go in the first half. And now the Mountaineers will take a timeout and will take the break as well. 1:15 remaining in the first half of play. It's Gaffney 28 and the Mountaineers 7. This is Gaffney Indian football.
It's the Sealy Posturepedic Labor Day sale now going on at Brown Furniture Company in downtown Gaffney. This weekend, save on America's #1 selling mattress brand, and Brown Furniture has sleep sets as low as $159 each piece. Enjoy a better night's sleep on a Sealy Posturepedic mattress and save money during this big sale. And remember, for furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics.
In the Tar Heel State, Kings Mountain, North Carolina, John Gamble Stadium. Glad to have you listening tonight, whether you're a fan of the Indians or not. Just like to listen to football, we're glad to have you in our listening audience tonight. 1:13 remaining in the first half, 28-7 Gaffney.
It's interesting and not to talk about. Ernie Payne is back at studio control tonight, and Kings Mountain, that is Ernie's alma mater here, Fabian. And, of course, I wonder who he's pulling for out there. We'll have to check with him in just a little while.
They were curious if we brought Ernie with us tonight. Of course, John Gamble Stadium. Ernie, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I believe Ernie said that John Gamble, a former longtime coach here, and Ernie played for John Gamble. So 3rd down and 6 for the Mountaineers at the Gaffney 48-yard line. Right hash mark, and now Ash backed out from center minus the football, and the 3 wideouts headed all down the field at the same time, but the ball was never snapped. So 5 yards to be marched off here against the Mountaineers. So 3rd down and call it 13. Indians back at home next week. The Union Yellow Jackets will come to town looking to sting the Tribe. We'll have that one for you. Kickoff 8 o'clock. Airtime 7:30 with Indian football warm-up. But first things first here. 3rd down and long for Kings Mountain, working from its 47-yard line. Ash looking to throw. Rolling to the left side. Right-hander fires down the field. Overthrown and incomplete. Nearly a one-handed catch made by Joe Leach inside the Gaffney 40-yard line. But 4th down coming up here for Kings Mountain with 64 seconds remaining in the first half. It'll be interesting to hear what Coach Montgomery has to say about the opening half with Clowney as those two gentlemen walk off the field and to the field house, which is located beyond the end zone to our left. And the Mountaineers will have to punt the football. Joe Williamson looking for better success than he had in his previous attempt, which went just 15 yards. But keep in mind, having to get rid of the football a little quicker than he normally might because Gaffney has already partially blocked one kick. Gaffney does not send anybody back deep. Now we fade somebody back as we peel back and set up the return. High end over end kick. Gaffney will let this one hit at our 26. Oh, look at this roll. Inside to 20 and down to the Gaffney 9-yard line with 54.9 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, that really doesn't come of big concern to the Indians right now. They're 28-7 ahead of Kings Mountain. Looking forward to going into the locker room, getting a little rest, and then coming back out and taking care of the second half.
I'm kind of curious to see how Coach Montgomery plays this.
Yep.
Kings Mountain has a timeout left. You're working from your 9-yard line. Gaffney leads this thing by 21. See if Coach Montgomery tries to thread the needle on one deep here. Let's see. Nope. We line up with a tight formation to run out the clock. Bradshaw the snap and takes a knee. Kings Mountain with one timeout remaining, but the game clock is in motion. The only reason I bring that up is, you know, Coach Montgomery likes to roll the dice on quite a few occasions.
Yeah, I think he's just very content right now, Fabian, to, you know, go ahead and run the clock down and get to the locker room.
Now the Indians with scoring drives of unofficially 55, 53, 69, and 35 yards. We're going to take as much time off that play clock as we can. About a 12-second differential. Bradshaw Littlejohn looking at the play clock now, takes a snap and goes down to the right knee. And that will be the final snap of the opening half as the Indians do not have to take another one. So the opening half of play is in the books here at John Gamble Stadium in Kings Mountain, and the Indians have dominated. Your halftime score, Gaffney 28 and the Kings Mountain Mountaineers 7. This is Gaffney Indian football. Are down to the sideline now, and Clowney, who has Coach Montgomery.
All right, Coach, a little sluggish getting started, but it looks like we're cranking now. Let me give you a magic number, Coach. 4. We've scored on our last 4 possessions, stopped them on their last 4 possessions. How huge was that last score? Thank you, Coach. All right, guys, I want to make a point here. Coach Massey talked before the game about how he hoped it didn't come down to a special teams event. You might have noticed in the punting game they had 2 shanked, 1 partially blocked, and of course the last one was uncontested. We were just simply trying to run out the clock. He must not have much confidence in his special teams because Kings Mountain at one point chose to fake a punt from inside their own 20. So Gaffney up 28-7 at the half, and I'm going back up to the booth of you guys.
All right.
I asked him if Kim was okay, if his hand was maybe bothering him, and they said no, everything appeared to be okay. They just wanted Bradshaw to hold because it was a little extra long kick. So apparently no injury problems that are of major concern down here right now.
And that's good news. Remember, when an injury puts you along the sidelines, contact the sports medicine experts, Doctors Frank Phillips, Richard Gardner, and Walter Grady at Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic. You can call them at 864-487-5823.
Well, Gaffney head coach Joe Montgomery, as he made his way onto the field out of the left end zone from where the field house is located, he and our referee Don Loftus we're talking some things over, not particularly sure what that is all about, but the Indians got to have a quick start here in the third quarter. Not allow Kings Mountain to think that it can mount a rally in this football game. I heard one of those halftime scores, I think Ernie said, Spartanburg leading West Side 14-0. The Vikings having some problems getting that offense clicking this year. They were in a scoreless tie with Union a week ago tonight and then ended up losing that football game late. I think it was on a 90-yard or 91-yard kick return, which I think happened early in the fourth quarter of that football game.
Yeah, but you can count on Spartanburg getting that program together and being a powerhouse as always.
Yes, sir.
Well, I want you to stay tuned in now for the second half kickoff brought to you by Raleigh Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney, where you'll find the Explorers now on display. Now with the second half kickoff and more play-by-play descriptions of tonight's Gaffney Kings Mountain game. Back over to the voice of the Indians. Here is Fabian Fuentes.
Well, thanks, Dennis. Rob Heim tees the ball up the Gaffney 40-yard line, right hash mark. This kick will travel right to left across your radio dial. 22 puts foot to leather. A high side-winding kick down the field. Hits at the 1. Fielded near the goal line by Jamar Moore. Out across the 10 to the 15. Tries a stutter step move, but nothing doing there. Brought down to the 17-yard line.
Gaffney's Billy Smith credited for the tackle there.
Well, a couple of numbers here stick out for Kings Mountain. Some good and bad numbers when you take a look at the opening half of play. First is that the Mountaineers averaged just under 6 yards per rushing attempt. The bad number is not only are they down by 21 points, but in the opening half, Matt Ash, the quarterback, completed just 3 of 12 passes. First and 10 for Kings Mountain from its 17-yard line. Opening play, third quarter. Ash up under center. Gets a snap, turns, hands it off to the back. Hillman over the left side out across the 25 and gang tackled up near the 35-yard line. So Hillman picks up 18 yards on the opening play of the third quarter.
Darrell Richbury and company making the stop for the Indians.
Well, that brings Hillman now 10 carries to about 63 yards. So he is averaging better than 6 yards per rush. Line of scrimmage now the Mountaineer 35-yard line. We're just underway third quarter. 4 down linemen on that Gaffney defensive front. Matt Ash shot under center, gets the snap, fakes to the fullback, running the option behind the left side. Ash trying to turn the corner, being strung out a few positive yards to about the 37. Pick up of about 2 yards that time. Second down and long coming up.
Billy Smith making the stop for Gaffney.
Indians coming into this game having won 27 straight regular season non-region games, a streak that dates all the way back to the 92 season. Gaffney last lost a non-region regular season game at Daniel High School. Here the Indians went on to win the state championship. Second down and 8. Ash gets the snap. Misdirection handoff. And tackled near the 40-yard line was Joe Williamson. Shy of the first down by about 5 yards. So ball possession down coming up here for the Mountaineers. First possession, third quarter.
Gaffney's Drew Cobb into the tackle there.
Mountaineers next week, I think, have Bessemer City. They do, and of course Gaffney heading back to the reservation to take on the Union Yellow Jackets. But still plenty of time left in this football game. Third down and 5, Kings Mountain from its 40-yard line. Ash up under center, wideouts to each side. There's the snap, hands it off to Hillman, trying to navigate his way from backfield traffic, not able to do it. Tackled near the line of scrimmage, and it brings up fourth down. No gain on the play.
Well, maybe some hot-headedness cooled down by some of the Indians talking to Antonio McLean. Apparently upset a little bit because of that, the way the tackle was made there.
Well, no gain, Joe Williamson on the punt of football. 23 yards on that drive for Kings Mountain, but that was it. Brandon Peeler, the single safety for Gaffney. The punt will travel left to right. Low snap, Williamson fields, gets the punt away. This was nearly blocked. hits at the Gaffney 39-yard line, still rolling along the Gaffney sideline and down at the Indians 29 or 30-yard line. So that's where Gaffney sets up shop for its first offensive snap here in the third quarter. Indians lead 28-7, 9:36 remaining. Now they officially say the ball spotted at the 30-yard line. Gaffney will work right to left here on the playing surface of John Gamble Stadium here in the third quarter. Indians straight to the line of scrimmage. Keon Gardner and Brian Martin in the I, 3 wides in a slot to the left, the wide side. 3 down linemen on that Kings Mountain front. Bradshaw, the snap. Here's the toss sweep. Left side to Bryan. Cuts it back against the grain across the 35 to the 40 and room to run. Out across the 45 to the 50 and tackled near the Kings Mountain 49-yard line. Brian Martin rumbles his way into Mountaineer territory.
And he's tripped up by McLean. We were just talking about McLean.
Now, unofficially 21 yards on the carry that time for Brian Martin's having a big ball game here tonight for the Tribe. Brian now up to the 71-yard mark at his 8th carry. Brian with touchdown runs in the opening half of 2 and 22 yards. First and 10, Gaffney inside Mountaineer territory. Ball spotted right hash mark. I set 3 wide, slot left. Bradshaw the snap. Same play left side to Brian Martin. Being strung out. Brian trying to turn the corner. Follow the lead blocker of Keon, and Brian pushes to the 45-yard line. Pick up of about 5 yards. So 2nd and 5 coming up here for the Tribe.
Oh, Jamar Whiteside, or rather Jamar Moore and Stanley Whiteside's numbers 1 and 2, making the double team tackle on the Indians.
Well, first possession, third quarter for Gaffney. Keep in mind the Indians scored on their last 4 possessions in the opening half. Indians break the huddle up to the line of scrimmage. Peeler and Thompson wide outs to the wide side to the right. Jackie Leach wide out to the left. I set Gardner and Martin. Bradshaw up under center, 4 down lineman for Kings Mountain. That's Fred Littlejohn who gets the snap and now hands it off to Keon Gardner. Keon to the 40, to the 35, cuts to the outside, to the 30, 25, steps out of a tackle at the 20, still on his feet to the 10, to the 5, and hauled down from behind at the 3-yard line. Keon Gardner, a 42-yard run for Gaffney.
Finally brought down there, Fabian, and a great run indeed. Blake Boland of the Mountaineers.
Well, you add 42 to Keon's total. Unofficially, guys, I have Keon now with 3 carries and 83 yards. Now, I'm not a math major. That's why I'm in the sports broadcasting business, but I think that's just about right there. 3 carries and 83 yards, I believe, for Keon Gardner. Fred Littlejohn, the Gaffney quarterback on this drive. 1st and goal. Now, what have we got? Penalty marker comes in, delay a game against Gaffney. Play clock, it ticked down to 0. Clowney, bring you in here.
Delay a game, only offense.
Because of the field markings, tough to figure out from here. What have we got? 1st and goal from just inside the 10? Well, I think that's what it is. Yeah, now we're at the 9-yard line. 1st and goal from there. Under 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Gaffney leading 28-7 and looking for more. Trying to punch the ball into the end zone to our left. Fred Littlejohn barking out the play at the line of scrimmage, about to get under center with an eye behind him. 1 gets the snap. Here's a toss sweep left side to Brian Martin. Trying to run wide, cuts back in, now back to the outside to the 5 and pulled down near the Mountaineer 4-yard line. Gain of about 5 yards. 2nd down and 4 for the Tribe. Coming from the Kings Mountain 4-yard line. Of the 5 touchdowns scored combined from these teams in the opening half, 4 of those touchdowns came on 1st down plays, and the other one came on 2nd down. That was Bradshaw Littlejohn's 39-yard run on 2nd and 10. 2nd down and goal for the Tribe at the Mountaineer 4-yard line. Ball spotted left hash mark. 2 wides to the wide side of the field. Gardner and Martin in the eye. Littlejohn, the snap, hands it off to Keon. Nothing doing there. Keon tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Back near the 6-yard line, and from there it'll bring up 3rd down and goal.
Gerald Smith making the tackle for the Mountaineers, which brings some applause from those fans below us here in the booth.
Well, Keon made a number of great runs in his ball game. 2nd effort and all that sort of thing, but there was nothing he could do. He was wrapped up right after he got the handoff from Fred. Now, Fred last week, 1 out of 3 through the airwaves, and that was a 15-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Peeler. See if the Tribe goes to that corner or fade pattern here. 2 wides each side. Fred Littlejohn up under center. Gets the snap, straight drop, looking to throw. Pressure from the backside is number 1. Looking to throw, trying to run the football with a 5. Fires into the end zone. Deflected and incomplete. Boy, Fred was nearly past the line of scrimmage. In fact, I think he was when he threw the football, but no penalty marker. So the Indians onto the field to try our first field goal of the year. This one will come from about 21 yards out as Rob Heim comes onto the field. Unofficially, 21 or 22 yards out. This from the near side or left hash mark. Down for the call for the field goal. Here's Lonnie Jordan.
All right, guys, from 22 yards out, Heim made what amounted to a 35-yard field goal as an extra point in the first half after Gaffney was penalized on the score. The snap is down. Bradshaw holding. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left in the third quarter, the score is now Gaffney 31, Kings Mountain nothing. You're listening to Gaffney Indian football.
And try McDonald's 2. Try one of these all-new delicious hamburgers and
Awarded Best Play-by-Play in South Carolina by the Associated Press. This is WAGI 105.3 FM. Gaffney, Spartanburg, Greenville.
Welcome back. 6:09 remaining in the third quarter. Gaffney extends the lead now to 31-7. This Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks located Highway 221 in Chesney. Gaffney's Rob Heim gets a leg into this one. High end over end kick. Muffed at the one, but into the end zone for a touchback. Well, Heim, 22, got into that one. And the Mountaineers will start from their 20-yard line, down 31-7. Gaffney scoring drive, some 64 yards. Rob Heim, a 22-yard field goal. Little doubt about that one is Heim launched that one through the uprights. And Bradshaw on the hold. So first and 10, Kings Mountain from its 20-yard line. Hillman alone back behind Ashwood, trips to the right. Hillman gets the handoff, nothing left. Trouble in the backfield and tackled near the 16. The loss of at least 4 yards, depending on how generous the official wants to be.
Brandon Sullivan there, Fabian.
Well, let's see. Speaking of Brandon, he led Gaffney in tackle points last week. Coming off the bench for the Tribe, he had 27 tackle points. Officials timeout, and we've got an injury, and that's Roger Logan, our starting corner. And Mike Biddix racing onto the field, our defensive coordinator. And Roger, I think, has done something to the right leg, is being aided off to the far sideline.
Well, let's take time out for this injury update. It is brought to you by Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic. Down to the sidelines, and here is Lonnie Jordan.
Guys, it looks like it might either be a cramp or some kind of Achilles tendon problem there. Dr. Camlin rushing over to take a look at him. I'll get a further report on it for you here in just a second. 2nd and 14 for the Mountaineers. Ash up under center, and now oh my goodness gracious, the left guard for Kings Mountain fell out of his stance, and Jeff Littlejohn teed off on him.
Wow.
That's why you should watch the tape delay telecast tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
Ball, false start on the out.
Wow.
5 yards.
Is that a candidate for the blast of the game?
I would say so. I would definitely say so. Just go ahead and make a note of that there, Fabian.
I mean, the poor guy he fell out of his stance, and Jeff saw just annihilated the kid. 2nd down and 19 for the Mountaineers. Ash hands to Hillman, trying to run left, picks his way through the line for a few to the 15, maybe the 16. 3rd and long coming up here for the Mountaineers. It's 31-7 Gaffney with 5:02 remaining in the third quarter of play. Gaffney has scored on its last 5 possessions, 4 touchdowns, and most recently a 22-yard field goal from senior Rob Heim. Brad Studevants is into the defensive secondary now for the Tribe, playing at that left defensive back position. I don't know if we got an opportunity to mention it earlier, but Terrence Dukes in there over at that right corner position, spelling Roger Logan, who checked out of the game a few moments ago. Ball possession down here for the Mountaineers. 3rd down and 14. Got to get this thing out across the 30 to keep the drive alive. Ash up under center, wing back in motion left, handing off to Hillman, trying to run wide left, nothing doing. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage in a cloud of white jerseys Back at about the 15, so a loss of at least a yard, and the Mountaineers will have to punt from deep in their territory.
Gaffney's Dory Brown on the bottom of that heap, too, who made the initial tackle. Yeah, you mentioned the telecast tomorrow. That's on Channel 17. Charter Communications there in Cherokee County. Be sure to take a look at that. Those of you listening in tonight and those of you who will be watching this tomorrow, it's nice to have you along with us a day later.
Gaffney's offense should get great field position here as Kings Mountain has not enjoyed success playing the football tonight. Mountaineers late getting a man on that punt coverage team and a timeout called by the guys clad in black. And we'll take the break as well. Gaffney to get the football back. The Indians lead 31-7, 3:43 remaining in the third quarter. This is Gaffney Indian football. Alongside of me, Fabian Fuentes, Lonnie Jordan on the sideline, Ernie Payne back at studio control. 3:43 remaining in the third quarter of play. Gaffney leading Kings Mountain 31-7 here at John Gamble Stadium. Mountaineers late getting a man out there on that punt coverage team, so Kings Mountain having to burn a timeout. Now we're ready to go. Peeler is the single safety for the Tribe. Williamson awaiting the snap. Here it comes. It bounces up to him. Here comes a rush, and Williamson having to run for his life in the end zone. Throws a short pass, and this is incomplete. And Gaffney will take over at about the Kings Mountain 15-yard line. Number one, it was a low snap to Williamson. 44 reached down to the turf and actually fielded it off the one hop, but Gaffney aggressive trying to come with the block that time. Williamson had to run for his life and had a desperate measure from the end zone, threw the football, and the pass incomplete.
That was Tron Dawkins.
Yeah, Tron last week had an interception. No turn, first and 10 for Gaffney as Bradshaw Littlejohn back in the game at the quarterback spot, and now an official's timeout. And let's see, Keon Gerdner, our running back, flexing the legs, and now number 3 going to go off to the far sideline, and Brian Martin checks back into the game. Keon over on the sideline and does stretching. So we heard Clowney mention a few moments ago, saw it with Logan, perhaps cramps here for Keon. So first and 10 Tribe. Ball at the Kings Mountain 15-yard line. Bradshaw up under center. 7 gets the snap. Here's a toss sweep left to Martin. Cut back inside to the 10. A spin move and pulled down from behind near the 6-yard line. So second down and short coming up here for the Tribe. I'll tell you what, Kings Mountain linebacker got in there that time. Lee Rhodes, 33, the 5'11 senior. He had Brian Martin dead to rights, but couldn't come up with a tackle on 20. Brandon Byers in the game with the fullback spot. Brian Martin at deep back, 3 wide, slot right. Second and a yard from the Mountaineers 6. Bradshaw the snap. Gives it off to the fullback, Brian, over the right side, and Brandon Byers in for the touchdown. 6 yards out. And make it 6 straight possessions now that Gaffney has scored. And the Indians lead this thing 37-7 with 2:25 remaining in the third quarter. 2 plays and a 15-yard drive. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard. Home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. Down to the sideline and a call the Gaffney PAT to Clowney Jordan.
Here's Rob Heim, guys. He's 4 for 4 tonight. Has a 22-yard field goal to his credit. Bradshaw Littlejohn to hold. The kick is up, and it is good. So 2:25 left in the third quarter. The score is now Gaffney 38, Kings Mountain 7. You're listening to Gaffney Indian Football.
Stadium. This Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks. Highway 221 in Chesney, that's where you'll find a Crown Victorious. Gaffney's Rob high end over end kick, drifting to the left sideline. Fielded there by Roberts, running for his life, and tackled at the 11-yard line. That is where the Mountaineers begin. Gaffney leading this thing 38-7 with 2:16 remaining in the third quarter. Gaffney has scored on its last 6 possessions. 5 touchdowns and a field goal. The most recent score, Brandon Byers, the fullback, going in from 6 yards out on 2nd and short. And that continues our trend of touchdowns tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns scored in this game. 5 have come on first down and 1 on second. Here's a pass right side, intercepted by Gaffney's Brad Studevant. Studevant's on the return left side, 15, 10, 5. Did he get into the end zone for a touchdown? No, they're not going to give it to us. They say 2's out of bounds inside the 1-yard line. Brad Studevant comes up with the interception for the Tribe. Pass well overthrown, and the 5A junior returned the football inside the Mountaineer 1-yard line. First turnover of the game. Gaffney now +5 in the giveaway takeaway category this year. Gaffney forced 8 turnovers last week, while the offense turned those miscues into 42 points. So here Gaffney, first and goal from inside the 1 at the end zone to our left. Brandon Byers and Martin in the I wides each side. Bradshaw gets the snap, hands it off to Byers, a fullback, and he follows the center into the end zone for a touchdown. So Gaffney, a brief 1-play, 1-yard scoring drive, and the Indians lead this thing 44-7 with 1:46 remaining in the third quarter of play. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse. Sagebrush, located at 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney. Down to the sideline and a call to PAT to Clowney. So Rob Heim on to attempt the point after. Bradshaw Littlejohn is again the holder. 7 gets the snap, places the ball, line drive kick, no good. First time tonight that Gaffney has missed the point after. 1:46 to go third quarter. Indians all over the Mountaineers, 44-7. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Sounds good now. Well, I had a carrier. I just didn't have your modulation there for a minute.
I should be a modulating kind of dude.
Yes.
Well, I want to be a modulating kind of dude.
All right, hang on. Shopping Center Gaffney, where the 1/2 price frame sale is all next week.
1 minute and 46 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Gaffney rolling, line drive kick from Heim down the field, taken by Williamson inside the 10, middle of the field, across the 15 to the 20, picks his way across the 25 and tackled from behind up near the 30-yard line. That is where the Mountaineers will begin this possession, trailing 44-7, 1:39 remaining in the third quarter of play. And a reminder, Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks on Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford, Ranger, and F-Series trucks. Kings Mountain right now must feel like it's been run over by one of those F-Series trucks. First and 10 for the Mountaineers from the 30-yard line. Ashton at quarterback, hands it off to Hillman, the fullback, over the left side up to about the 35-yard line, maybe the 36 before he's gang tackled. Pickup of about 6 yards, late stages, third quarter of play.
And the stop made there by Gaffney's Billy Smith.
Scoring update, or Fats game summary, where Calabash Chicken's still number 1 out of Fats. Give them a call at 488-0310. Gaffney has scored on 7 straight possessions. That's 6 touchdowns and 1 field goal, leading it 44-7. Third quarter game clock winding down. Brad Studevant in at the left cornerback. Just came away with an interception a few moments ago and returned down to the Kings Mountain 1-yard line. There's a snap. Fake it to the fullback, Hillman. Ash trying to turn the corner left side. Does so, has the first down, and tackled by an ankle. Stopped down at the Gaffney 49-yard line.
Roy Dawkins in there, but not before the first down is made.
Roy, a starter, remaining in the football game. Keon Gardner out of the Gaffney lineup, being attended to, I believe, over by the training staff on that Gaffney sideline in the vicinity of Kalani. Maybe we'll get an update on Sir Keon in a few moments. 13 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It was 28-7 at halftime. There's a snap and handing it off to the reserve running back. Nothing doing there for Antonio McLean. So he picks up maybe 1 or 2 down to the Gaffney. Well, now we're going to say he actually lost half a yard. We'll straighten it out. We're at the break between the quarters after 3 quarters of play. It is Gaffney 44 and Kings Mountain 7. This is Gaffney Indian football. Are 12 minutes away from opening the year with back-to-back victories and winning a regular season non-region game for the 28th consecutive time. As we begin the fourth quarter, Kings Mountain of football, first and 10 at the Gaffney 49-yard line, but Gaffney leads 44-7. Ash, the Kings Mountain quarterback, straight drop, throws left side. This is caught by Torres Leach. Leach down to the Gaffney 41-yard line before he's tackled about a yard shy of the first down. So third and short coming up here for the Mountaineers. Reminder coming up in our post-game show tonight. We'll hear from Gaffney head coach Joe Montgomery. Also take a look at the final game scoring and also the final game statistics. Anthony Hillman back in the game at the running back spot. Third and a yard for the Mountaineers. Ash gets the snap. Hands it off on the misdirection. Handoff Williamson turning the corner left side to the 35. Has the first down. Driven out of bounds. Near side, left sideline to the 32. Pick of about 8 yards when the Mountaineers needed 1. Mountaineers work right to left here in the fourth quarter.
Well, Jeff Littlejohn in on the tackle.
Well, next week, the Union Yellow Jackets invade the reservation. Kickoff 8 o'clock, airtime at 7:30. Union currently ranks second in South Carolina's Associated Press 3A poll. The Jackets opened a week ago tonight with that 14-7 win over Spartanburg. Union playing host to Lawrence tonight, so that'll be the first road game of the year next week for Mike Anthony and company. Here, Ash fakes to the fullback, and the Kings Mountain quarterback trying to run the option behind the right side of the line and tackled near the line of scrimmage. So second down and long coming up here for 7 in that Kings Mountain offense. Of course, the win over Spartanburg last week was a defensive struggle for Union. Teams combined for 332 yards in that game. J.R. Crosby, a couple big plays in that game for Union last week. The game-winning touchdown, a 91-yard kick return in the fourth quarter. Second down and long for the Mountaineers. Ash gets the snap. Play action, looks to throw, fires over the middle, deflected and incomplete. It was nearly intercepted as Kings Mountain went with a short pass over the middle, but it all went for naught. I think it might have been McIntosh maybe into the linebacker now, 24, who nearly came away with a pick. Tell you what, if 24 hangs onto that football, he very well may have scored 6. Third down and long for the Mountaineers. 10.5 minutes remaining in the football game. Gaffney leads 44-7. 37 unanswered points scored by Gaffney. Ash gets the snap, looking to throw. Under pressure, backside. Throws into the left corner of the end zone, incomplete. And that time he took a whack from the backside. I think it might have been Wood that cracked the backside of Matt Ash. And fourth down coming up here for the Mountaineers. They'll have to go fourth down by the sizable margin that the Mountaineers are.
Well, you know, Coach Ron Massey and his Mountaineers probably getting pretty frustrated at this point, Fabian, especially an early season game with a team like Gaffney, which was the case with Crest and also Shelby.
Well, the thing about the opening half, and we mentioned to the staff at the half then, is the Kings Mountain was averaging 6 yards a carry. Problem was the defense could not stop Gaffney. And it's tough to try and get yourself back into a ball game running the ball. Now Ash fumbles a snap from center at the 31-yard line. We're going to have this thing one way or the other. Whether or not we get credit with a fumble recovery or not, first and 10 for Gaffney. Indians will work from inside their 32-yard line. So the Gaffney defense comes up big there. Second time tonight that the Indian defense has stopped Kings Mountain on downs.
Brandon Sullivan
The other time back in the second quarter, down at our 31-yard line. Kings Mountain faced with a 4th and 6 and only got 3 yards on the run. So first down and 10, Gaffney Indians working from their 31. Bradshaw gets a snap and a quick handoff. And fumble on the play, and Kings Mountain has recovered. What an odd play that was as the Mountaineers recover at the 30.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit there to number 66 who made that recovery, Daniel Harden.
Kings Mountain was still in the defensive huddle and 5 yards away from the football, I believe, just before Gaffney snapped the ball. And I think it kind of stunned the Indians on the snap. So first and 10 for the Mountaineers. Ball just shy of the Gaffney 30-yard line, but it's 44-7 Indians with under 10 minutes remaining. As with wings to each side, Williamson in motion left as Ash gets the snap, fakes to the fullback, trying to run the option left and gains 1 to the 29-yard line before he's tackled from behind.
Nothing doing on that one from Jeff Littlejohn.
Gaffney defense last week registering 16 tackles for loss. The Indian defense has also registered a number of tackles for loss in this game tonight. Been feast or famine for that Mountaineers ground attack. Second down and long for Kings Mountain inside the Gaffney 30 left hash. Ash gets the snap and hands it off to the fullback. Bounced back is Hillman and tackled down at the 31 or 32-yard line. 45 kept the legs a churning that time and all down back at the 31, lost a few. So
Trey Wood brought him to the turf, Fabian, after he bounced off of Littlejohn.
Third down and 11 coming up. And one of those linemen coming out of here for the Mountaineers, that's the left tackle, Layman Caldwell. 6'4", 240-pound senior. Exits off to the near sideline. So third down and 11. Danny Wright wide out to the left side, single wide out to the left. Ash gets the snap as the left, the wing back goes in motion right. They hand it off to Williamson trying to run left and nothing doing there. He's bounced around like a pinball and may have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage down to the 31-yard line. I hesitated there because we were having trouble bringing him around. We were bouncing them all over the place and then finally wrapped them up. So fourth down and just over 10 coming up here for Kings Mountain.
Brought down by Eric Dover. He actually bounced off of Littlejohn, which many people don't do.
So fourth and long coming up here. Taking a look, still got a lot of those starters in the football game. Brad Studevans over at that left corner. He motions for a timeout. Is it seen? No, now we've got an official's timeout. And let's see, now we're ready to go. Wind the play clock. Fourth down and about 11 yards if we want to be official about it. Kings Mountain to the 31 of Gaffney. Ash hands this one off and gain him maybe a yard. Inside to 30, and that's where the Gaffney offense will take over. 7:43 remaining in the ball game. Gaffney leading 44-7.
Stop made by Anthony Littlejohn.
Anthony's had a good game tonight, as has Jeff. Roger McIntosh from the linebacker position. So the Indian offense back out onto the football field. First and 10 for the Tribe. Nose of the football just shy of our 30-yard line. Brian Martin with that right foot heavily taped, the lone back. Gets the handoff from Bradshaw. Brian, all kinds of trouble in the backfield, not escaping. Tackled back near the 26, loss of about 4.
Well, you had thought that Jeff Turner had hit the jackpot the way he carried on out there after making that stop. I thought he had won the lottery. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Peeler and Jabbar Montgomery, wideouts to the left side. Jackie Leach to the right. Gaffney with an eye. Fullback offset to the left. Brandon Byers. Bradshaw gets the snap, play action. 7 looks to throw, rolls the pocket, fires deep down the left sideline. Going for Brandon Peeler. This is a jump ball. Brandon wins the catch. He's at the 25 to the 20 on his feet. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Gaffney. 74 yards unofficially on the pass play. It turned into a jump ball situation, and once again, Brandon Peeler won the battle. His second touchdown reception of the night. Taking a look at the season stats, his 4th of the year, and it is now 50-7 Gaffney. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Becker Boulevard, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. Down to Clowney with a call of the point after.
All right, guys, Rob Heim is 5 for 6 with a 20-yard field goal. Bradshaw Littlejohn to hold. The snap is down, the kick is up. and it is no good. So with 6:41 to go in the ball game, the score at Gaffney 50, Kings Mountain 7. You're listening to Gaffney Indian football.
Back at John Gamble Stadium, 50-7 is the Gaffney lead. 6 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the ball game. This Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks. They are located Highway 221 in Chesney, and that's where you'll find the Ford Escorts. Gaffney place kicker Rob Heim has the football teed up at the Gaffney 40-yard line, right hash mark. 22 puts foot to leather. Line drive kick down the field, taken by Williamson inside the 10-yard line. Middle of the field now to the 15. Stutter step move, trying to reverse his field, and has 4 white jerseys in his face. Gets hit. He's fumbled the football. Gaffney is picked up, trying to return, but are they going to say that Williamson is down? No, Gaffney has the football, and we've recovered back out at the 14. So the Indians make the fumble recovery. We've made the hit. Williamson trying to make the extra effort, and I think the fumble recovery number, I guess we don't have.
31.
We don't have it. So first down and 10 for the Tribe, looking to add to that 50-point total. Fred Littlejohn now at the game of the quarterback spot. Eye behind him, Brandon Byers and Ryan Martin. Fred gets a snap, hands it off to Byers, a fullback, 36 straight up the gut, down to the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. Goes number 36. Brandon with a pair of touchdowns here tonight of 6 and 1 yard.
Brought to the turf there by Jeff Turner.
8 straight possessions. I believe it is now that Gaffney has scored. Score sheet's kind of a mess right now, to be quite honest with you, with this a 50-7 football game. 2 wides to the left side for the Tribe. Joey Thompson in there. Eye set. There's a snap. Pitch it off left side. This is Joe Smith, who had a touchdown run last week. Cuts back against the grain down to about the 6. And it'll bring up third down and maybe 5 yards for the Indians. Joe Smith had a touchdown run last week, I think, of what, 19 yards?
Yep.
Trying to take a look here. Had some information on the JV game last night. Actually, the Gaffney JVs scrimmage Kings Mountain. And Joe Smith scored a touchdown to tie that game up. That scrimmage ended tied at 6. Third down and 4 for the Tribe out at the Mountaineer 8-yard line. Fred Littlejohn up under center, gets a snap, turns, hands it off to the fullback. Byers pushes the pile for a first down inside the 5, down to maybe the 4-yard line. Should be enough for a Gaffney first down. I may have gotten ahead of myself.
Well, he's brought to the turf there by Kenny Moore.
And it is a first and goal situation now for the Tribe. We've got this window open, but it does not come completely out, so left side we can see fine, and, well, the right side is tinted, so kind of tough to see out. So it is first and goal for the Tribe at the 4-yard line. There's a snap. We give again to Byers, the fullback, tries to push the pile down inside the 1-yard line. And from there, it'll bring up second down and goal.
Once again, Kenny Moore on the tackle.
Fred Littlejohn running the show at the quarterback spot. Got the traffic. We can see the car lights from here. People filing out of the stadium. Game clock winding down. 4:09. The Indians lead 50-7. Second and goal from the 1. Byers and Martin in the eye. Fred Littlejohn barking out the play call at the line of scrimmage. 3 wides and a slot right. Play clock under 9. Now down to 7. Fred gets the snap. Hands it off to Byers over the right side. In for the touchdown, but a flag thrown in by our referee, and no touchdown for the Tribe. Illegal procedure called against Gaffney. That was nearly Brandon Byers' 3rd touchdown of the night. Brandon, 6 foot, 210-pound junior.
That ball false start on the offense, 5 yards.
And down Loftus and his crew still working hard down there on the playing surface here of Gamble Stadium. Kings Mountain next week on the road for the first time, taking on Bessemer City. Gaffney heading back to the reservation to take on Union. So 2nd and goal from out at the 6 for the Tribe. End zone to our right. Fred Littlejohn gets the snap, takes it to fullback, running the option behind the right side, cuts back inside, and is in for the touchdown. Gaffney. Fred Littlejohn goes in for his first rushing touchdown of the season. Fred had a touchdown pass last week. And this scoring drive unofficially covering 20 yards, and I think do we have a penalty marker out there?
There was a whistle just before the play ended.
I'm sorry, I'm looking through the tinted glass here, and it's tough to make out if there's a. How about Kalani? Fill us in, give me a clue.
There is no touchdown.
Well, there's no touchdown, and I'm not sure why.
They're talking about an inadvertent whistle, whatever that means.
That means he blew it and he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't take 6 points off the board. It wasn't their fault.
No, it wasn't.
Well,
Maybe we'll do it again here, but we got to be concerned with the play clock now. It's under 9, and we're still trying to get one of our reserve linemen into the game. Play clock at 5. I think we're going to have to burn a timeout. Well, now they've stopped things, and we do call a timeout. We'll reorganize here and get things together, but 3:01 remaining in the ballgame. It's been all Gaffney as the Indians lead Kings Mountain 50-7. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Back at Mountaineer Stadium, it is Gamble Stadium here in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Gaffney leads it 50-7 and threatening again.
Team to the line of scrimmage, ready to go. 2nd and goal from the 6. There's a snap. Fred tries to hand it off to Brandon, and this time denied. The goal line tackled down at the 5-yard line. So from there, it brings up 3rd down and goal for the Indians, leading this thing 50-7. 43 unanswered points scored by Gaffney. Fred Littlejohn in there at the quarterback spot. Bradshaw engineered the previous drive, connected on a 74-yard scoring strength to Brandon Peeler. High set for the Tribe, wides each side, tight end right. Fred gets the snap, straight drop, looking to throw, guns a pass, and deflected, and is this intercepted? Yes, Kings Mountain is intercepted and returned out to about the 10-yard line.
It was deflected off one of the Indians' helmets. Fred attempted to make the pass, couldn't do it, because the helmet blocked it, sent the ball in the air, and then, of course, Kings Mountain intercepted.
I think unofficially that snaps our string of scoring drives at 8 in a row. Of course, I'm going for no tinted window press boxes anymore for night games.
Turn the lights off.
It's tough. I mean, I'm not trying to complain, but it is kind of tough to see. Got a reserve quarterback, I believe, now in the game for the Mountaineers. Takes a snap, pitch back right side, trying to turn a corner out across the 15 and barreling up to the 20 and driven out near the 21-yard line. And I think a penalty marker has come in, yes, to spy the tackle over on the Gaffney sideline. Kelly Littlejohn is now in at the quarterback position for the Mountaineers. 6 foot, 170-pound senior. Face mask called against the Tribe. Not a clean jersey, so to speak, in there for that Gaffney defense right now.
Face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, let's see. Timeout for the Fats game summary. Brought to you by Fats Cafe of Gaffney, where you'll enjoy special lunch items from $4.99 to $5.99. Call them at 488-0310. Gaffney, at one particular point of this football game, scored on 8 straight possessions, and the Indians right now have scored 43 unanswered points. Again, game summary brought to you by Fats. Littlejohn, the Kings Mountain quarterback, play action, looks to throw as he rolls the pocket left, fires up the field. Sliding reception made up at the Kings Mountain 49-yard line by Joe Williamson. And that's enough for a Mountaineers 1st down. So the Indians will improve to 2-0, take on the Union Yellow Jackets next week. Ought to be one heck of an interesting ball game next week. The Indians will face their first legitimate real passing attack with the Yellow Jackets and quarterback Joe Pettit. Here's a snap, quick pass, left side, caught, tackle made at the Gaffney 44-yard line. Gain of about 6 yards, approaching the 1 minute mark of time remaining here in regulation. Kings Mountain in a hurry-up offense, but trailing by 43. And a reminder coming up at 10:30 tonight at Stan Olenek with a high school football scoreboard show. Now Little John back to pass for Kings Mountain under pressure, floats a pass left sideline and out of bounds. Just throwing that one away that time as he was pressured. So third down coming up. Gaffney won that matchup with Union last year, 28-0. Gaffney in that game ran 54 plays. 47 of those were rushes. Gaffney totaled nearly 300 yards on the ground in that matchup. But the Yellow Jackets come to town. Many labeling a contender for the 3A South Carolina State Championship this year. Joe Pettit, the quarterback, Kyle Browning, the running back, and J.R. Crosby, a great wide receiver and return specialist. Third down and 4 for the Mountaineers. They hand it off this time to the fullback and gets the first down to the Gaffney 39-yard line.
Well, he's stopped by Gaffney's Dory Brown.
Antonio McLean on the carry as Dory brings him down to the turf. 39 seconds remaining in this one. Kings Mountain's record will level off at 1-1 after opening last week with a 34-14 win against East Gaston. 3 down linemen for that Gaffney front. Little John, Whirly Bird, the left-hander, guns a pass deep down the right sideline. Incomplete. Jump ball type situation, but our defensive back, I think it might have been Studevants, had the inside coverage.
Yes, it was.
And Brad had an interception back in the third quarter. Returned the ball down to the 1-yard line. Brandon Byers, the fullback, would score on the next play. 25 seconds remaining in the football game. Gaffney 43 unanswered points, and of course only the second meeting all time in this series as far as the gridiron matchups go between Kings Mountain and Gaffney. The first one way back in 1925. Little John looking to throw. The Mountaineer quarterback rolling out the pocket left, throws, deflected and nearly intercepted, incomplete. Third down and 10 coming up. Well, college football season moves into full swing tomorrow. Clemson and South Carolina, of course, each debuting new coaches. The Gamecocks head to Raleigh, North Carolina to take on NC State. Kickoff 7:30 with Coach Lou Holtz and company. They're at Carter Finley Stadium. Tommy Bowden and the Clemson Tigers play host to the Thundering Herd of Marshall there at Death Valley. That game will be broadcast live right here on 105.3 FM. Kickoff 6 o'clock, airtime at 3 tomorrow afternoon. Little John straight drop looking to throw under pressure. Throws incomplete. It was nearly intercepted. We couldn't hang on to the football. So 4th and 10 coming up. Antonio McLean, the intended receiver. It almost looked like it was a middle screen trying to be developed there by Kings Mountain as Little John just continued to backpedaling. Then tossed the football, but in and out of the hands of, was it Howard? Travis Howard, 42, I think. So 4th down and 10 coming up here for the Mountaineers. Anticlimactic at this point, folks. If you're just tuning in, 50-7 is the Gaffney lead. Little John, a reserve Kings Mountain quarterback, to snap on 4th and 10. Left-hander floats a pass over the middle, and this is dropped incomplete out of the 20-yard line. Thrown just a tad behind the wide receiver who tried to make the catch off his right hip and looked over his left shoulder at the same time. So Gaffney will take over on downs, and we'll get a snap here, and that will be the final play of the game. Indians go to 2-0. Improve that regular season 9-region win streak to 28, which I believe now might be and more than likely is the longest among Region 2 for a team. Spartanburg losing last week snapped the Vikings regular season non-region win streak at 37 games. So Gaffney in that tight formation. Fred Littlejohn about to get up under center and take what should be the game's final snap with 11 seconds to go. One gets a snap and goes down to that right knee, and that should do it. Indians do not have to take another snap, so this one is in the books. Gaffney now 2-0, and Kings Mountain is 1-1. Gaffney wins the battle convincingly between 4th-ranked football teams. Your final score tonight from John Gamble Stadium in Kings Mountain as the game clock has expired. Gaffney 50, and the Mountaineers 70. The postgame show when we return to the Tar Heel State after this timeout. This is Gaffney Indian football.
It's been one of the hottest summers ever, and there's plenty of hot weather ahead, so it's not too late to install a Bryant high-efficiency cooling system with your choice of economical gas heat or the energy efficient heat pump. Sale now going on at Brown Furniture Company in downtown Gaffney. This weekend, sale on America's #1 selling mattress brand, Brown Furniture has six sets for only $159 each week. Enjoy a fair night sleep on a cool upholstered mattress. Say Brown Furniture for sale. Remember, for furniture, appliances, beds, and electronics, visit the furniture store in Austin, Texas. That's Brown Furniture Company, 113 East Cherry Street in Gaffney, Kansas. It's Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, 9 to 5, and Sunday only. That's Brown Furniture Company, downtown Gaffney.
Kings Mountain, North Carolina. The scoreboard remains illuminated. 50-7, the Indians very handily defeat the Kings Mountain Mountaineers, likened to last week, Fabian, with the Hunter Huskies.
Yeah, and it's a far superior football team tonight that Gaffney faced versus a week ago. But the thing about it, Gaffney kind of got it going all at one time against Kings Mountain, and the Mountaineers were never able to really mount a charge. Once again, this is a rushing football team that fell behind by 21 points, had to try to go to the airwaves on more than they really wanted to, and it cost them. Of course, we'll see in the final game statistics just what the pass completion percentage was for the Mountaineers. As I guess now we'll go down to the field here at John Gamble Stadium, and Connie Jordan with Gaffney head coach Joe Montgomery.
All right, Coach, this was a nice win for you, wasn't it?
I thought that they were a very good football team offensively. Defensively, you know, look, their kids are cramming, our kids are cramping. It's just so physical to a game. And, you know, I really just think our size, we wore them down a little bit as we got in the second quarter.
Okay, we started off slowly, then you scored 43 straight points. What kind of, there were obviously adjustments going on throughout the football game because things kept getting better and better.
Real key, Connie, but we're not going to put it on the radio.
You can tell me, Coach. I won't tell anybody. Last week against Hunter Huss, it obviously was a mismatch, but this was how much of a better test was this team?
Well, offensively, they're as good a football team as I've seen in a while because they've got, you know, the inside play with the Hilton kid, and you know, the lack of being able to throw the ball hurts them. But their scheme is outstanding, and Ron Massey, I mean, he does a great job coaching. I mean, that group will win 9 games and go on in the playoffs. I mean, that's the type of coach Ron Massey is. He's going to do a great job up here.
Mike Biddix in the defense did a great job in the second half, holding Anthony to 21 yards.
Knew we'd get better, Connie, as the game went on because we're not able to practice that offense for our defense to show them the speed of the game, and I knew we'd get better as the game went on. You just get adjusted to the speed a little bit better when you're playing linebacker. And I thought our kids played well. A couple of things we can get better at real quick, but you know, I was pleased all the effort with the kids.
Where did you see some improvements? Last week you were a little concerned about some balls we dropped and some catches you thought we should have made. A little better tonight?
I felt so, Connie, but you know, we didn't throw the ball that much because we had some things we could do running the football. And you know, I think we were a better team fundamentally of blocking and tackling, running, throwing, catching, kicking the ball. Those 6 fundamentals, and I hope those are the 6. I got them all in. Those are the 6 fundamentals that you've got to have. And we were better at that tonight, I can tell you that.
And a lot of kids made a lot of big plays, different kids.
No question. You know, Bradshaw makes a lot of plays. Keon made some big plays. Brian Martin made some good runs. You know, we had a lot of kids step up and make a lot of plays. But you better have that, because with the teams that we play, with Union coming into town next week, man, you better be able to make those plays.
It just doesn't get any easier. All right, Coach, congratulations. Very nice job, and we'll see you back home next week.
All right, Coach Joe Montgomery with our sideline announcer, Lonnie Jordan.